Okay, so welcome to our PRINCE2 pre-course videos. This one is starting up a project process. Starting up a project process is, as you can see, the first process that we're going to be coming across in PRINCE2. Note that this process is before the project starts. So we're going to be carrying out a little bit of PRINCE2 before the project begins. And the main reason for this, of course, is to ensure that we have a viable, achievable and desirable project. The main reason for this is to try to make sure that firstly, we have a project which is worth carrying out on behalf of the business, so it makes business sense, that we understand how it's going to be managed, we understand what we're going to deliver, we understand how we're going to deliver the products. The main objectives we've got then are that we should have good business justification for going ahead into initiation. This will give us then an understanding from a business point of view that this project makes sense at this point. That we've got the right authority to be able to carry out the project, that we've got sufficient information about what we want to achieve and what the scope of the project is going to be. And remember, scope is the kind of sum total of all the products that we're going to be delivering. We need to consider how the project's going to be delivered. We're going to have to consider the project approach, make or buy, bespoke or off the shelf. Is it internal development, external development? From this, we should then have a better understanding of who we need to be able to carry out the work. Those specialist resources that we'll need, are they available? We also need to consider the work that's going to be carried out during initiation. So this is when we're going to be doing our planning, the next step, the initiation stage. And this way, we're assuring that we're not using lots of time and effort on planning if these circumstances don't exist. That we haven't got business justification, that we don't know what we're going to deliver, that we don't have the right people, we don't know how we're going to deliver. Now, generally, we're going to be carrying out the minimum work necessary to answer these questions. And this will then give us confidence to move forward into initiation. There are some steps for this. Firstly, the whole starting up a project process is triggered by some kind of project mandate. Project mandate coming from either corporate or program. This will trigger starting up a project where initially we're going to be identifying and assigning or appointing the executive, so one of the key project board members, to make the decisions, and a project manager as soon as possible to carry out the work. One of the key documents here will be the outline business case. This is going to be a document which help us to understand the benefits of running the project to the business, the costs of delivering the products. We'll look at the timescales for those, so when will we have to pay, when will we get our benefits, and we're going to need to look at the major risks that we're going to face as a result of running the project. This is generally carried out by the executive, though often the project manager will get involved as well. We'll also need to consider our previous lessons. So what has happened prior to the project? Is there anything we can bring into the project which will help us to be more successful? That could be how we develop the product, what the product is, the level of quality that's necessary, the transition work that may be needed to help us to introduce the product into business as usual. Based on what we're going to be delivering and how we're going to deliver it, we'll need to consider the project management team. Who do we need in order to be able to deliver the products we need? We'll need to make sure that they're available, they're suitable, qualified if that's required. And that way we can confirm that we've got the team for the job. We're also going to need to think about the project approach. Remember, this is where we're looking at, do we need to make the products or are we going to buy them? Are we going to have something special, bespoke, or can we buy something off the shelf? And are we going to develop it ourselves or are we going to get somebody else to do it for us? All of this information will be pulled together into a single document or folder called the project brief. And this is what the project board will use to make a decision whether to go ahead or not. This shouldn't be a surprise because they're going to be involved in helping to build the project brief. However, we do need to gather all the documents together for them to look at and make their decision. Along with this project brief, we're looking to produce a plan of what we're going to do next. So given that we get approval to move into the first stage of the project, the initiation stage, then we're going to need to ask for authority to carry that out, and we need a little plan to show the project board what we intend to do. The project brief, along with that initiation stage plan, at the end of starting up a project, go off to the project board in directing a project where they make their decisions and they decide whether they want to go ahead or not. If they do, then that's the end of starting up a project and the beginning of the project. So that's a little look at starting up a project, and I hope that will help you when you get onto your course, and of course you can use this video as well to help you with your revision, ready for your exams later on in your course. Thanks very much.